Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. So I'm doing a love and spirituality reading for fire signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. And I'll also be doing an extended video to go along with this one as always, so I'll leave the link to that in the description box down below. Okay, fire signs. So when I was meditating on your energy, I was picking up on, a message that was coming through was holding back. So some of you could be holding back or withdrawing from a certain situation, and I was hearing that it could be some form of tough love, like you're holding back specifically to teach someone some sort of lesson. But for some of you, I was feeling like you may be holding back out of fear. So it could be a combination of both as well. Like there's some fear mixed in with you feeling like you have to pull back to teach someone some sort of lesson. So we're going to see what comes up in your reading. So the first two cards out are the Knight of Cups in reverse and also the Ace of Pentacles in the upright. So with the Knight of Cups being here, excuse me, I literally just yawned like in the middle of my sentence. But like I was saying, with the Knight of Cups being here, that's pretty much talking about what I just said about kind of withholding love, not making any type of emotional offer towards anyone. And it could be from a specific person that you're withholding from, or it could be that you're just withholding in general, like you're not really reaching out and offering any emotional energy to anyone. But I am seeing with the Ace of Pentacles here that someone could be reaching out to you, or you could be getting offers, but you're not, you're not taking people up on the offers that you may be getting. I'm also seeing here that a lot of you are more focused on things that you find to be a little more important. Like maybe you were just given an opportunity or something along those lines, and you're trying to take advantage of that rather than focusing on whatever this relationship or whatever this connection is. It's sort of like an example that I'm getting right now is sort of like, let's say you got offered a new job and your relationship has been having some problems. It's like instead of putting the energy and effort into fixing that relationship, you're focused on that new job instead. You see what I'm saying? So it's like some of you, your attention is on, your future or on things that, you feel are more important or more pressing, and then your relationship or your whatever this connection was had to take a back seat. And it doesn't just have to be a romantic connection. It could very well be like, it's your family that you're kind of like putting on the back burner for now, and things of that sort, and focusing on what it is that you need to take care of, like things that you feel are more important. I'm going to clarify that. I'm going to pull one card to clarify that. And remember that this is the past position, so this could have already happened. This could have been in the past. It could be happening right now too, though. The Hermit card in the reverse. And the Ten of Wands. Yeah, this is why I say that for some of you, this holding back and not really giving emotionally, it was necessary for some of you to teach a lesson, but for some of you, it has something to do with like fear. Like you'd rather focus on other things, because if you dive into the issues that this connection was having, it's like you would have to face something that maybe you don't want to face, or face something that maybe you don't want to see, whether it be in that person, in that connection, or within yourself. I just feel like you are kind of tired of having to continuously go within and do like this soul searching and, do this emotional labor. Like some of you just feel like you need a break. So it's not necessarily running from doing, the work or doing the process of introspection where you look within and figure out, what this person is bringing to the surface within you. It's not that you're necessarily running from that. You could just need a break from it, if that makes sense. Some of you are running from it, though, is what I'm hearing. Some of you are running from it because there's something that you don't want to see, or something that you don't want to acknowledge, or something that's too overwhelming emotionally, and you would rather just not deal with it or not put any energy into it. So in the present position, we have the Temperance card, and we also have the King of Cups. So I'm reading these as two separate energies. To me, the King of Cups is someone that you may have possibly been dealing with. Like this could be the other person in whatever this connection is. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be family. It can be friendship. It can be an acquaintance. So just take it as it resonates. But yeah, I'm reading this as the other person in the connection who is heavily emotionally invested. And I do sense a bit of selfishness from this person, though, even though they are very much emotionally invested in you, or they have strong feelings for you. I do sense some selfishness, because I'm seeing here that you are the type to kind of make the attempt to balance the situation. Like, you're constantly trying to make sure everything is fair and everything is even, and maybe they're not doing that. So for example, the image that I'm channeling right now is like, you have 2 cups, right? And then you have, let's say, like a bottle of water that you're going to pour into the cups for each of you. You'll make sure that each cup is equal. Like, you'll make sure that your glass of water is up to a certain amount and theirs is the exact equal amount. Like, you'll even put the cups together and measure, like, okay, is this equal? Because I want both of us to have equal, you know? But if they were in charge of like pouring the water, they might pour more for themselves. You see what I'm saying? And then you'll ask, like, well, why? Like, why would you not pour equally for us both? And they'll make an excuse like, oh, well, I was more thirsty, or I'm the one that paid for the water. It's like that sort of thing. And I know that's a weird example, but I hope it kind of made sense and illustrated what I'm trying to say. It's like someone who's a bit selfish, like they care about you, they'll give to you emotionally, but they don't try to balance things out the way that you do. And that could be something that you're just kind of tired of. So you could be now putting that energy into yourself. You could be taking on more of a selfish energy and filling up your own cup and not really worried about that other person's cup anymore. So this could be about a specific person, but it could also just be just your energy overall. Like, maybe you're just tired of behaving that way in general. Like, you're tired of always trying to balance things out and always trying to give equally to people who, you know, don't do the same for you. And that's why you could be kind of holding back, sort of like I said in the beginning, like a tough love sort of lesson here. Because when you do start to hold back, that's when people really start to appreciate those times when you did, you know, fill the cup up evenly. You know, now they're like, oh, this person doesn't even fill my cup anymore. Like, they used to make sure that it was perfectly even and make sure that I had just enough, and now they don't fill it up at all. And that's when they really start to feel it, and that's when they really start to realize that they took that for granted. Let me pull one more. Yep, 5 of Cups, Queen of Swords. So, yeah, with the 5 of Cups being here, exactly like I said, someone kind of regretting the fact that they took it for granted when you were constantly trying to make things even and you were constantly trying to make things balanced. It's like someone or people just in general are going to be upset or feeling like they lost something significant because you're no longer showing up as that person who, you know, overextends themselves. It's like they'll feel it once you stop doing it, and I feel like you know that. And this actually is helping to like boost your self-esteem, because you have withdrawn your energy. And if you haven't, you're being asked to kind of withdraw your energy and, you know, put it all into yourself. It is going to help to kind of build your confidence, because I feel like your self-esteem was taking a hit. Like, the more you would try to balance out this, you know, these cups, and you're trying to fill them the exact right way, and it's, you know, you're focused on doing that, and then they turn around and don't do that at all. It's like a blow to your self-esteem. It's like a blow to you know, your sense of self-worth, when you really care about someone and you're constantly trying to accommodate them and make sure they're okay, make sure that they're comfortable, make sure that they feel loved, and they're not doing the same for you. It'll just really cause you to question yourself a lot, and it'll really mess with like your sense of confidence and your sense of self-esteem. And so you're regaining your self-esteem by kind of withdrawing and kind of pulling back. And for those of you who are doing this as like a form of like punishment, be very careful of that. I do understand the desire to do that. Like, sometimes we want to fall back just to punish the person. And just be careful of that. Just be a little careful of that, because when you do decide to, you know, put the energy and effort into yourself and to kind of disconnect and withdraw and retrieve your energy back, it should be really from a place of like, it should be coming from a place of self-worth and self-esteem and self-respect. If it's coming from a place of punishment, there's a little bit of like negative energy in there, but that's understandable though, because when someone does take advantage of you, sometimes it is natural and normal to want to kind of teach them a lesson. Just make sure that you don't take it too far, is what I'm hearing. And I feel like you'll know exactly what I'm talking about once I say it. Make sure you don't take it too far, because if you're implementing like the silent treatment or something like that, you may not want to do things like that, because there's a certain level of karma that holds. And I'm trying my best to like relay these messages in a way that's more general, because everybody's situation is different. So I'm not saying like, oh, you know, if you're not speaking to this person, you're a horrible person and you're doing something wrong. And when it very well could be that this person needs this type of treatment right now, or they need this type of withdrawal right now, so they can understand and see the error in their ways. Just be careful. Just be careful. Like I said, the withdrawal and the pulling back should come from a place of like, I want my dignity, my self-respect, and my energy back. If it's from a place of punishment, things can just go down a very slippery slope, and it can just spiral into a lot of negativity, and you just don't want to, you know, create that type of energy. So I hope that made sense. The next two cards out are the Four of Pentacles in the reverse and the Devil card. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles being here, this is you putting down a very heavy burden, because the Four of Pentacles to me talks about when you are holding on to something so tight that you don't have energy or room for anything else. Like there's nothing else in your life that you can focus on, because it's something that requires a lot of maintenance. And usually a connection that is not balanced does require a lot of maintenance, because you're constantly checking in. You're constantly like, okay, what can I do for this person now? What does this person need now? Is this person upset with me? Or it's like an issue every day, or maybe there's drama every day. It's like when you're in a connection where you're doing a majority of the work, you're maintaining it. It's the image that I'm getting, or the example that I'm getting in my mind right now is like someone who owns a house and the house is literally falling apart. It's like every single day you have to wake up and check something in the house that's falling apart. You have to go and get some supplies or some tools to fix something that's falling apart in the house. It's like every single day there's maintenance, and it's hard for you to work your regular 9-to-5 job because you're always trying to upkeep this house. It's kind of like that with a imbalanced relationship. You're constantly trying to upkeep it. Now imagine in this house, not only is it falling apart, but there's someone in the house that's purposely like, well, not purposely, but there's somebody in the house that's so careless that they're making it fall apart. That's a more accurate like depiction of a imbalanced relationship. It's like not only is the house falling apart, but the other person is aiding in the house falling apart, and then you have to do all the work to maintain it, and they're really doing nothing to maintain it, but they're playing a part in it falling apart. It's kind of like that. I hope that makes sense. So you are just wanting to call your energy back to you, and you're wanting to kind of put down that burden, because it's like you can't focus on anything else. You can't even focus on yourself when you have to constantly be maintaining whatever this connection is. I'm gonna pull one more. Okay. Please be careful of the silent treatment. Like I just keep on seeing the silent treatment, and you like, I'm being guided to just tell you, just be careful of that, because you don't want to take something like that too far. If you are going to withdraw, make sure that it's from a place of like, it's because you just genuinely feel like you need to. Because I am feeling a bit of like spite from some of you, and that's a normal human feeling when you feel like you've been taken advantage of. But it's like, sometimes the silent treatment could just go really, really left. Like it can go really left, and it can create more negative energy than what it's worth. Because when you do practice the silent treatment, it kind of keeps that person fixated on you. And then sometimes that's what we want when we've been taken advantage of. But them fixating on you in a negative way, or them like, it creates this negative fixation, and you'll be able to feel that energy. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful of that. And if someone is giving you the silent treatment, then be mindful of that as well, that you may need to turn your attention onto something else, because if you fixate on that person, it's creating a very negative energetic cord between you two. So I just keep feeling the silent treatment in this for some reason. So I just had to give that, you know, that mini warning or that disclaimer. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like you are choosing to kind of cease communication, or you're choosing to kind of back off from this and take your energy back. And that could bring out the shadow of someone, or maybe your shadow could possibly come out if someone's doing this to you because of the feeling of like rejection. But like I said, sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary, especially if you're not trying to punish the person and you're really doing it from a place of self-respect. Yes, it may activate their shadow. Yes, they may start blowing up your phone, or it could just really bring out the worst side of them. because they feel rejected, because they're so used to you overextending yourself, and they're so used to you giving so much. If it's coming from a place of you genuinely just want to pull your energy back because of your self-esteem and self-worth, then like I said, it may be something that you have to do, and just be kind of prepared for, you know, their shadow to come out, and for them to possibly act up a little bit at the thought of you pulling back. The Ten of Pentacles is here in the reverse. So yeah, this talks about not really seeing a very stable or solid future. I'm hearing that for some of you, you feel like this connection brings out the worst in you. It could be that both of you kind of implement this cat and mouse game. Like, it's possible that sometimes you're the one that doesn't talk to them, sometimes they don't talk to you, and it really does trigger some wounds, and it's like a push and pull back and forth, and there's no way that you can have a solid future with a connection like this. Like, things have to settle down. Like, whatever negative energy is between you two, it has to be settled by pulling back and taking some time apart, possibly. Especially if you feel like you're being taken for granted and you're the only one that's maintaining this connection. And let me see if anything else is coming through. I'm going to pull for the outside energy. I really hope this reading wasn't confusing. I'm going to pull for the outside energy, and then we'll continue this on the extended video. Let's see here. So the outside energy is going to be a person or a connection or a situation that is affecting you emotionally and energetically the most. And again, when you hear these readings, it does not have to be just a romantic connection. This could be, like I said, a family member that you are having to pull back from. This could be a friend. Like, this type of dynamic can exist with anyone. Honestly, it doesn't have to be just romantic. Let's see the outside energy. Wow. Not a good start. Okay, Seven of Swords, Two of Swords, Emperor. So some of you could be dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Doesn't have to be though. But this is definitely someone who has been dishonest in some way. It doesn't have to be dishonest as in like they're hiding something sinister from you. It very well could be dishonesty, like maybe they hide their emotions. They hide how they're truly feeling, something along those lines. Either way, it does cause a bit of confusion. I feel like it's kind of their turn to be a bit confused now though, because if you are choosing to pull back, it's like you're not showing them how you're feeling either. So with you withholding your emotions, or with you not really showing them how you feel, or not giving them too much of that energy, it kind of puts them in a position where they feel like they're no longer in control, and they feel like just confused, like they don't really know exactly what to do now. Because I feel like in the past, they may have been the ones who were concealing something or hiding something or holding their emotions back. And now with you kind of taking on that energy, it's kind of like you don't really feel, or they don't really feel too much like they're in control anymore. So it's just they're very confused. Let's put it that way. And if they're not, they're going to be when you start to kind of pull back, or when you start to withdraw your energy a bit. Yeah, it's like a loss of control, a loss of control, because they're usually the ones who, you know, implement this silent treatment sort of thing, or they're usually the ones who are withdrawing. So we're going to finish this in the extended. I'm going to leave the link to that in the description box down below. We'll look more into this outside energy. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you over on the extended. Bye.